Hey guys, Koukun here, coming at you with another video about real estate investing. So today I want to answer the question, what are the top 3 things that you need to know before you get started running your first Airbnb? So if you don't know, for the past year I've been running an Airbnb out of my duplex here in St. Catharines near Niagara Falls, Ontario, where there's 2 separate units. I've been renting each unit out separately as its own Airbnb, and I've also been allowing groups to rent the entire home. So larger groups would have essentially 2 full units within the entire home. So I've been doing it for about a year, and I want to answer the question where many of my clients have asked me, what do I need to know about Airbnb, especially before you get started? So I'm going to answer the top 3 things. The first thing is you got to have a different perspective about it than your typical real estate investment. Most long-term real estate investing strategies, what I mean by that is when you buy a house and rent it to a family, rent it to students, essentially you have a tenant that's going to live there for a year or more. Those type of investments are a lot more passive. Even though there is work, there is things that need to get repaired, there are issues that come up, it's a lot more easier to do it as a side gig. You can sort of let it run by itself. You're not involved so much. When it comes to running an Airbnb, especially if you don't have a property manager, it's a lot more hands-on. Every given month you can have between 4 to even 10, or depending on how long your stays are, you have 20 guests in 1 month. So each of those guests, you're interacting with them, you're telling them sort of what they need to know, the rules, as well as, useful information, how to get in, how to check out, coordinating with cleaners. There's a lot of moving pieces that go with this business. So it is possible to automate it. It is possible to create systems to reduce the amount of time you spend, but your mindset almost needs to change from being an investor to a business owner. You need to think about it as if you are creating an Airbnb business and you're the CEO, you're running it, you're having employees, your cleaners, your property managers, whoever's involved. You need to run it as a company more than as an investment. So that's the first thing. The second thing to know is you gotta have a good budget for all the items you need to get started. When we started this, each unit, we spent about $7,000 furnishing it and getting all the pieces. Yes, you can reduce that. Yes, you can get stuff used, which I definitely recommend, especially if you're on a shoestring budget. Get good used stuff on Kijiji, spend a little bit more time and get those pieces. But just know that there's a lot more than what most people think. It's not just a sofa, a bed, a TV. Yes, it is those items, but that's not it. You have to really think about everything that you have in your home, and you're going and buying it all at once, and it can really add up. Knife sets, plates, dishes, bowls. Like there's 100 little things that go into creating a home and creating a furnished space that is turnkey, where someone walks in, they have everything they need for a week, for a month, for a day, right? And you got to be able to provide that. So have a good budget, make good lists of all the things you need, and just be ready that your first few guests are going to say, hey, I noticed you didn't have wine glasses, I noticed you didn't have this, and be ready to make that trip, go pick it up, drop it off at the property, be ready to do that extra work when getting set up. Now, the third thing that I mentioned even in my prior video is pricing strategy is one of the most important things. And this I did not actually do for the past year. We still made okay money, but definitely we left a lot on the table. So it's important for you to understand what is the going rate for this unit and how much is the highest you can possibly charge, and then guide your pricing around the type of guests you want to attract. For example, with this unit, especially in the slow season, after the end of August, early September, things start slowing down all the way until maybe April. So that's a good chunk of time where we're not getting this crazy demand in the Niagara region. We do get some demand, right? We still get business travelers, we get people coming into the area that need a place to stay, whether it's for a week, 2 weeks, a month, a day, right? There's still those guests. It's up to us to navigate our pricing such that we're attracting the type of guests we want. So like I mentioned in the last video, you want to increase the price for short-term stays if that's what you don't want. And then if you really want a month-long stay, give a massive discount such that you're getting the number you want for the month, but anyone looking to rent it for a shorter period of time gets priced out of it. It's important to do this versus doing minimum stays, because when you do minimum stays, less people see your listing, less people click your listing, and then from a search engine optimization perspective on Airbnb, you don't show up as much. So then when that person wants to book a month, they're still not going to see you, because all these other places that have availability for shorter term stays get more clicks, even if it doesn't get booked because they're priced really high. Those pop up first when the person's looking for a month. So you want to be available, but just expensive if the stay is going to be short, and then make sure your pricing is competitive for the length of stay that you want to attract. So those are the top 3 things that I recommend looking at. Again, look at it as a business. Make sure you're managing the pricing. Make sure you're managing the people involved. Even if you have a property manager, even if you have cleaners taking care of that, make sure you're managing them. Make sure you're involved and you understand what's happening. And then once you build that comfort level that things are going smoothly and that you're on top of everything, that's when you can take a little bit of a back seat. However, it's important to stay involved, especially when you're in the early stages. Hope you found that helpful. If you're interested in investing in the Niagara region, I've created a report on the fundamentals to understand about the Niagara region, why this area is booming when it comes to its real estate market. You can find it in the link below. It's a free guide. Hope you find that helpful. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. As always, have a great day.